The liver is a treasure of salvation, which we will gradually find out. I know you have a lot of difficulties in your life. I know that sometimes loneliness is heavy. I know that sometimes you don't have someone to call or knock on the door and ask you to help you. Do not waste time. Make your experience with Jesus a friendship experience, so that you have this opportunity to share what you are, what you feel. Get closer to God and make your proximity to Him increasingly generate a fruitful friendship, so that you also have the right to sing this song, perhaps every day, even if it is a little bit of it, to beg and ask for your faith process to come out of the sphere of obligation and enter into the sphere of law, privilege. At school, in my group of friends, I was always very ridiculed, perhaps because of my physical size, which always made my activities difficult in sport, my activities with my friends. And even though I have lost a lot, I still suffer the same way. How can I get rid of this role, Father? I got tired of being the silly, and today I feel that I am lonely as I do not have to fulfill the role that before I fulfilled. Guys, what is interesting in the questioning of Junior, this goes for many people, is as follows. Every time we establish social relations, we end up distributing papers. We end up playing a role, and the others that are on our side. Like Junior played the role of the shoulder of the court. It made him create this character inside him and take him forward. Why? This is very interesting. In the social relationships we established, one role supports the other. When we, for example, ridicule someone and are in groups, ridicule the other makes us feel good with ourselves. Have you observed this? And then you realize that the moment you laugh at someone, the other is providing a social role. That is maintaining your joy, is keeping your satisfaction. This is terrible, but it is a reality that happens all the time. So much so that in family relationships, if psychology helps us understand this, that all the time we are exercising a kind of paper. For example, you have the successful family, but you also have the unsuccessful. You have the one who has achieved success, but you have the victim. And often the victim is maintained in the relationship with the one who is successful, because unfortunately, human relations always go through the comparison. And always the one who is in a favorable situation ends up playing this social role, which can be not only within the family, but it can also be in your working group, wherever it is. This is why when we talk about relationships, we need to be very aware and clear. So we need to always deepen human issues, so we can start identifying two very important things. What is the role I play in relationships? How do people interpret me? And then, how do I allow them to interpret me? Because it is one thing to be ridiculed once and you accept it. Another thing is that you are ridiculed all your life, and this becomes important for you to maintain the bond with people. And often the victim is maintained like this. The successful makes sure that the victim is always on her side because it's the best way she has to feel successful. How will a person feel successful if they are not comparing with someone? Is not true. And sometimes this comparison happens all the time, and we don't realize it is happening. Indoors, for example, Junior, it is not just in your relationship with your friends. All the time you also play a social role. Now, my friend, you need to be careful because you are allowing this character going on. And it is you who created you, and you will have to destroy. It's not your friends who will change from you, but it is you who have to change. First, before yourself. How do you interpret yourself? Because if someone one day you thought you were the court silly, that you were the fattest, the funniest, the most, this happens a lot inside our homes. In our groups, when you realize that one person became a prisoner of what they allowed others to do from it, and it is paddling. In family relationships, our failed brother is often maintained by us who are successful. Because the moment we feed the relationship of dependence, so I take care of him all the time, I give everything he doesn't have, and then we understand a little bit what we said. That father who keeps the children too flattering, giving everything they want. protecting them from life. What you do is just that. You already raise a failed child because you do not prepare you for life's difficulties. There is that relationship of raising a character inside the child, who is the son you wanted to have. A child always stuck to you. A child always dependent. This is not what we have to educate our children. We have to be very careful for us to identify what is the social role we are playing in the house and away from home. This is a matter of conduct that you find out if what you live in fact, is the most honest you can live. No one was born to be a court silly, and we, very easily, elected these fools from the court. Right. Because we need them, hell. We always need to have the ridicule of our heir. So, we have to be careful. Even within the seminar, this is very common. A place where we are educated, I can say, because I lived all our lives in the seminary. We risk always having the most silly, that everyone makes more silly and gets more silly, more silly, more silly. Time goes by, and he does not learn but another one, if not the most silly. It is a crime that we commit with them. Because when we allow a person to be fulfilling this role, it is that good. That everyone does from him what he wants. It does not mean that we will extract from his kindness and withdraw. Be bad now. It's not that. It means that we will say and fight that no one is limited to being just this government. No. It is available, but it will not be silly for all. It is the one that will always be available. But then let's find out a way to grow it from this availability so that it does not become a burden to it over time. This is very natural to happen. You really need to be aware of what you have allowed others to do with you. And it's not waiting for others to change, my son. No one will change, okay? The role you played is already decorated by them. Who has to change the script of the movie, of the story, is you. Because in your life, who rules? Who's the director? Who is the writer, screenwriter? Is you. God only knows. God only knows how much I redo myself. So much so that I am more whole through this program. Through everything God has allowed me to live here in this territory. Through you who receive me at home. And every Wednesday give me the opportunity to be a priest. To be able to share my life. To be able to reflect the lives of others here in a respectful way. Making it raw material of our evangelization. Then I get back to music, why I'm saying all this, right? Be my best friend. It moves me. And I think this is the biggest challenge that I live as a man and also as a priest. Because I want Jesus to be my best friend. Yes. Because I learned that if I'm close to him, being his best friend, I will respect what he asks. Because we treat the best friend like that. Especially when you know that your best friend is much better than you. When he has much more lucidity than you. When he has a lot more history than you. He is my best friend. I want to look like him in my daily life, because I believe the quality of my ministry depends on this similarity. I want to have the same availability he had. I want to live similar to him in his ability to love, in his ability to welcome people, and to be able to tell him every day at all times of my life, Lord, I am here. Protect me from all ills. Protect me from all the excesses. Protect me from all that can remove my intensity. Protect me from all those who don't love me the right way. Protect me from all those who somehow want to trivialize who I am and the wealth of the ministry that the Lord has entrusted to me. Joy is always a call, right? I want to share with you so that you are also summoned by her. For joy that springs from being a friend of Jesus. I know that sometimes we understand religion as obligations, right? As situations that make us do this, to do that. Don't forget that. We hear in the new song, we want to experience and experience this in our lives, and then convince those who watch us, those who read us, those who listen to us, who being a friend of Jesus is not a burden. On the contrary, is a privilege, and that having Jesus as best friend is a guarantee that we will be good friends of others as well, because every time we experience Jesus as the best friend of ours, we get more aware of the way we are friends of others. I know that in this time so marked by the lack of confidence, the lack of faithfulness, right? Sometimes I find so many betrayed, injured people trusted someone, that someone who she trusted betrayed her confidence, was not faithful. He told what was so particular, what was sacred secret, right? Sacred secret. Beautiful, the junction of both words, right? Trivialized the feeling. I know that at this time, where we are so at the mercy of the violence of the other, so many people are today being violent against the values that make us people. Have this mystique. I know people will betray us. But if we are a better friend and let Jesus be their best friend, I say now, and I always wanted to say that, my best friend is Jesus. Because he is the one who saves me every day. He is the one who reconciles me. He receives me with open arms, even though I was so injured, so sinful. And I want him to be my best friend. As I want it to be my reference all the time. I want him to be my way. I want him to be my truth. Ricardo Sa now just tweeted and talked about it, the value of the truth. How good we deal with the truth, no matter how hard it is. And Jesus does not work with my lie and is not willing to receive me when I want to lie to him. Because with the lie, he can do nothing in my life. So I can only be true before him. Spread my miseries on the table and be aware that it welcomes all this as long as it is my truth. Being his best friend and allowing him to be our best friend. It is us to establish this bond, my people, who won't let us be paralyzed. Spiritual growth is that. It is advancing in friendship with Jesus. And why am I friend and is interested in his life? Isn't it obliged to read the Holy Scripture? Isn't it an obligation to attend Mass every Sunday? Isn't it obligation to say my daily prayer? No, none. It is privilege. Because when I pray, when I adore reading the Gospels, when I participate in the Eucharist, I have the opportunity to be alone with my best friend. Religion is that. I like to say that. To pray is that we are in a private audience with God. We are received at a particular audience by the one who knows all of us. And there, at that moment of intimacy, we have the opportunity to share our hearts, to share our difficulties, and to give it to him in the certainty that he will not trivialize, nor disregard what we give him. Because the best friend, the true friend, knows how to respect yous. And I would like to invite you in this program. And from this program, you also bring the mystique of this friendship with God. To grow in faith is to grow in friendship with the Lord. To pray is that you set growth opportunities in the Lord. And all that we do, because religion proposes to us, is nothing but taking steps towards the maturity of this friendship. A mature friendship is undoubtedly the result of a lot of effort, a lot of work. We are not close friends overnight. It may even have facilitators. We have a lot in common. But confidence is an element that is gradually happening. And this confidence we need to have in God. It is also due to the process of approaching this God and trying to know him through all that is at our disposal, through all that the church us